Welcome back to the Broto Fantasy Football Podcast presented by BrotoFantasy.com. I'm your host, Tim PETROP, with my brothers, the only two twins that give you double that fantasy goodness, Michael and Jason PETROP.
I wish I had courage. We're doing the Lions.
Not quite what I was expecting.
Today we are finishing off our NFC North. Jason really liked that.
You really enjoyed that. Yeah. You never make Jason laugh.
Yeah, right?
Only I do.
I know. I'm so surprised. So we're going to the Lions. We're going to start with the offensive outlook, the head coach, and the offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia is the head coach. He's coming over from the defense of New England. Then we also have offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell. If you've heard that name before, you probably heard it because he's the former Seahawks offensive coordinator. He was a Seahawks offensive coordinator during their Super Bowl runs, and he was...
I thought of a good joke.
Yeah, and he was also the offensive coordinator during their terrible year a couple years ago where they couldn't run. Has some rush-heavy years, has some pass-heavy years, but they want to run the ball. They've made it very clear that they want to run the ball. So, Jason, Michael,
the Lions' offensive coordinator is the Bevel. Foosball's the Bevel.
Well, analysis you can only get on Broto.
From the most part, he likes to run.
He likes to.
We'll discuss it when he is able to run. He likes to run.
Yes. So let's start with the quarterback, though, to avoid the running back for right now. Reports say that Matt Stafford played with a broken back all of last season.
Absolutely nuts.
He had his worst year in a while. Breaks away from the Jim Bob Cooter kind of West Coast quick strikes off the line kind of offense. I think he's going to have an ability to shine this year, I think. I think the Lions are going to be better than people think. I think they're going to be in some positive game scripts. And I think that it's going to do a lot for Kerryon Johnson, but I also think that Matt Stafford might go down in the amount of throws he's making, but have better quality throws.
I think that Matt last year may not have been an anomaly. I'm on the other side of this because if you look deeper into his numbers, his attempts, completions, and completion percentage were all the same from years prior. I know he was dealing with an injury. That probably causes YPA to drop, yards per attempt. It was 6.8 last year, down from 7.9 to 7.3 to 7.2. But it was trending down in the recent memory. And then in 2014 and 2016, he was on par with the amount of touchdowns he had last year. So it might just be an every other year type thing like Matt Ryan. But his main issue last year, why his fantasy points were a little bit lower, is because he was lacking yardage. His yards weren't there. And now Golden Tate's not there, who is the Yak King. So I'm not sold on a Stafford bounce back.
I think he could be a QB2 this year. With some upside, he has been a QB1 most years in the past. But it's a new system, like you said, coming off a very down year. Apparently he was with an injured back, but we'll see what type of Matt Stafford comes back to play this year.
One guy I really love this year, as we get past the quarterbacks and go to the breakdown of the running backs, is Kerryon Johnson. Look, last year a lot of bullshit surrounded the Lions. Matt Stafford broken back. They traded Golden Tate midseason. They had LeGarrette Blount as their starting running back for a long time. They had Theo Riddick in the backfield. Still, with all that, and Kerryon Johnson being a rookie, he still paced out for 260 touches, which included 49 catches, nearly 1,500 yards total. Now this is his backfield. Second season, I really like what the Lions are doing on defense. I think the Lions have an ability to kind of pull the Saints where everyone's kind of sleeping on them. But when you have an offensive line with Snacks, Trey Flowers, and Mike Daniels on it, you're going to have one of the best rushing defenses in the league, which means the other team is going to be on the field less time because they're going to be throwing the ball more, which also opens up the passing lanes for your big play guys like Big Play Slay and Grover Quinn, right? These are guys that can make plays in the secondary when there's a running defensive line that stuffs the run. And this is a division that has a lot of good running backs. So I feel like the Lions, on the strength of that run defense, might be in more positive game scripts, and I think that bodes really well for Kerryon Johnson. Not to mention the fact that Theo Riddick is out, and he's the pass-catching back. I love me some Kerryon Johnson. He's moved up into the next tier, the second tier running backs to me, and I like him to be possibly a running back 1, but definitely a running back 2 this year.
Yeah, Mike Daniels going from the Packers to the Lions like a day after being released after spending years with the Packers. Maybe something was going on in the Packers locker room to just go to a division rival like that after years with the same team without even like really considering was fishy for me. But Kerryon Johnson, yeah, the sky's the limit for Kerryon this year as long as they don't try to pull some stupid shit and give C.J. Anderson 10 rushes a game.
I think last year they kept on feeding LeGarrette Blount, but I think there's something to be said about it was LeGarrette Blount's backfield and Kerryon Johnson was coming to take that role from him, and now it's Kerryon Johnson's backfield and someone else is coming up for that. So
Except no one's taking his job.
Right, exactly. So a guy like Zach Zenner, and a guy like C.J. Anderson, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna cut into Kerryon's workload as much as LeGarrette Blount did last year.
Well, he had 85 yards at least in 5 of his last 6 games. He only scored 4 touchdowns, so there's a big potential to increase the output there. 32 receptions, 213 receiving yards, not bad. Theo Riddick is gone. There goes like 80 to 90 targets opening up in the backfield. Juicy for Kerryon Johnson. He was on pace for over 1,200 yards last season, over a full season, when he wasn't even the starter or the main guy for most of the year.
1,500 yards from scrimmage. You're not even everything you're talking about right now is not even considering his pass catching.
Yeah, so increase the pass catching potential, increase the amount of carries he gets. Could be in for huge. Him and Aaron Jones are both guys who could jump into the first round this year if, barring any health, hopefully there's no health troubles for both of them. They do have some health, some injury history.
Kerryon Johnson is 0 for 1 in terms of full seasons.
Yeah, I just have some numbers to back up Michael. Darren the Bevel.
Foosball's a barrel.
Has 12 seasons as an offensive coordinator. 10 times he's been top 10 in rushing yards. On top of that, Theo Riddick saw 71 and 74 targets the last 2 years. Kerryon Johnson without Theo Riddick last year
With Theo
Riddick last year, his pace was 341 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. With Riddick getting 74 targets.
Hot damn.
He got 40 catches with Theo Riddick, who
32,
let's not forget that Theo Riddick is one of the least efficient pass catchers in the history of football in terms of doing something with the ball after he catches it. He's really good at catching it. One of the best at ever catching the football out of the backfield. Really bad at what he's doing after. So Kerryon Johnson could also
That's why he's not
expand
a
on
running back.
That. Right. Let's go to the wide receivers. I think the Detroit wide receiver core is the hardest core to predict in the entire league because I feel like Kenny Golladay should be better. Only 3 wide receiver 1 finishes last year, 7 games where he was a complete non-factor. So it's hard to believe that Kenny Golladay is not better.
The thing is with Golladay, mini Babytron, he wasn't
mini Babytron. Pick one. It's
Babytron.
He was Babytron and then he sucked, so now he's mini Babytron.
Like the game, he wasn't the main guy to start. You know, they had Tate and Marvin Jones. They traded Tate. Marvin Jones got hurt. I absolutely loved Kenny Golladay at his 10th, 11th round tag. I got him in a lot of leagues there, and I told you guys to get him in a lot of leagues there. Now his price is too high for me.
Yeah,
I see him
he's
going
like the 6th, 7th.
No, earlier,
5th.
dude. 6th, 7th would be good. He's going in the 4th round.
Wow.
The most recent, I've seen a bunch of drafts recently, 4th round Golladay.
Wow.
Just
I'm going to check his
time.
ADP. Keep going.
And last season he went 70, 1,063, and 5. You'd think, oh, he wasn't the main guy. There was a lot of Matt Stafford was injured. There's room to grow. But we're talking no Marvin Jones. We're talking basically no other pass catching.
No Golden Tate
all.
after week 6.
Yeah, no Golden Tate. So he was the only guy, basically.
He was better when Golden Tate was on the field.
Yeah, he was in a pass-happy offense. Now Darren Bevel's coming in. Most likely going to be a run-first team this year for the first time in ages. Marvin Jones is back. They got T.J. Hockenson in the middle of the field now. Danny Amendola to man the slot. I know Danny Amendola is not a big-name guy, but he's going to steal some targets.
Wow. Kenny Golladay is going as wide receiver 18, but that's the 42nd player overall. So he's going in the back of the 3rd round, right? If I'm
No,
right.
mid-4th. That's
mid-4th.
I've seen him go back in the 3rd, though. I'm not willing. I don't want. The way I look at this sometimes, maybe this is a bit crazy, but the way I look at drafts sometimes is, Do I want Kenny Golladay to be my fourth best player?
No,
Yeah.
that's a
The
good
answer
way
is
to
no.
go. Yeah.
I want Robert Woods to be my fourth best player because that's someone who's going to be consistently awesome for you. So Kenny Golladay is just not someone I'm
I'd take
super interested in at his ADP.
Robert Woods over Golladay every day on a Tuesday.
Only on Tuesdays?
That doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Kenny Golladay, if you look at his numbers after Golden Tate left last year and extrapolate that over 16 games, because I am extrapolating.
You've been extrapolating a lot.
80 receptions, 1,172 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Yuck.
It's not yuck.
It's yuck for the 42nd overall player.
Not necessarily. If the touchdowns go up, it's not. And you'd think the touchdowns are going to go up, but I don't. Is the volume going to be there this year?
What about the other guy on the other side? Marvin Jones could be the kind of 1A. Like, would you be super surprised if Marvin Jones had more fantasy points at the end of the season than Kenny Galladay?
Not necessarily if he
Yeah,
stays
right.
healthy.
And I think touchdowns have a lot to do with it.
I mean, he went from 1,109 in 2017 to 508 and 5 last season, only 9 games.
He was hurt, and he's always been a
So-
touchdown guy. Like,
I
those
mean, but
touchdown
that's-
numbers are part of what
Those are
makes
good
him
numbers.
him. Right.
That's a pace basically to go 950 and 9. So, I mean, it's decent. Again, the receptions, Marvin Jones is never going to be a big reception guy. So, in PPR leagues, his value is a bit diminished because he's one of those big yards per reception guys. He's a downfield threat. He's 29 now, so he's getting a bit older. He is coming back from an injury, which is a little worrisome coming back from injuries. I know that's always something to consider. But his ADP is like 9th, 10th round right now. I don't know how often I'm going to take this shot on Marvin Jones there. I like some upside picks more. But if you take Marvin Jones there because you went very running back heavy or you drafted a couple tight ends early, I don't hate it.
I'm about to say something legendary, guys. Danny Amendola has shady PPR value.
PPR only. If
I mean-
you look at what Golden Tate's done, he barely passed the 1,000-yard threshold each season. He was always around there. And he ended each season with 4 or 5 touchdowns. And you need to consider that Golden Tate's the best yacker on earth. Yards after the catch.
He was born in Yakima, for crying out
So
loud.
if you think that you'd think Amendola's going to see less targets than Golden Tate, you consider that he's not the yak all-star and that he's probably not going to catch that many touchdowns, you're looking at best case scenario, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, we shady saw T.J. Jones and company, whoever was manning the slot, have some PPR-worthy games last season. So.
Yo, do you
just
guys remember?
PPR.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
last year though? Like Bruce Ellington was signed off the street to play. Do you remember how many targets he got in the 3 games that he
Remember,
played?
he had like 8 receptions
He
for like
averaged
29 yards or
He
something.
averaged 9 targets a game.
We're in a full PPR draft. Well, we were, and I'm not going to be surprised if Danny Amendola is. Well, I'm talking about the past tense now, but if I do more PPR drafts, I'm not going to be surprised if I take Amendola as a flyer with like my last pick. He's free.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he's worth it, especially when you know that
I'm
Stafford.
a time traveler.
The thing is that
the Bruce
because
Ellington game that we're talking about, yeah, the first, he went 7 targets, 6 receptions for 28 yards is the one I was talking about. 6 for 28 is hilarious. He also had a 7 for 35, a 6 for 52,
Oh man,
4 for 17,
what a G!
and a 4 for 37.
This guy was catching the ball like 3 yards away and just
Yeah.
falling down.
Right here.
Please don't touch me. Foosball is the bevel. Bevel.
it's getting late. We're getting a little delirious.
Nah,
Jesse-
this is the funniest
Jesse
episode
James and T.J. Hockenson, tight ends, are always sucky for the Lions. I don't want any part of either of those guys.
yet. Guys, you know how we feel about rookie tight ends.
No, if they don't, though, tell them how
History
we
is
feel.
so poor that, you know, for tight ends that you shouldn't draft.
It's
rookie tight ends.
absurd. It's absurd that T.J. Hawkinson's being drafted over Trey Burton.
It's
Yeah.
just the fact that
It's a travesty.
if any tight end
And
is
there's
gonna-
experts like happy about it. They're like, yes, I got T.J. Hockenson.
if any tight end is going to break the mold,
I want to bet those experts.
I'd say Hawkinson has
Nah,
probably the
I
best shot
say
at it.
Noah Fant has
But
the best
The
shot.
best shot at breaking the mold still means he probably has a 8% chance
and
at
that
doing
still
it.
means he's going to be a tight end 8.
Guys,
Yeah.
let me tell you a little
He's
stat.
6'5". He's a great blocker, so he's going to be on the field. But Matt Stafford has never been a guy who targets tight ends. You saw what happened with Eric Ebron.
Same size.
He's a rookie. Yeah, same size guy. And it's just literally, besides Evan Ingram, who was forced into the targets, Who was it before that? Jeremy Shockey, I think, was the last rookie tight end to be a tight end 1. So you're betting very much so against history.
Only 29 players in history have had over 500 yards as a rookie tight end. To give you perspective on that, that's 3.3% of players. So you are banking on it is a 3.3% likelihood that TJ Hockenson becomes a mid-range tight end 2.
Yeah,
and you're going even lower than that. The guys who had over 800 yards, 1%.
And then you got
and that counts Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, who both did it the same year.
That's nuts. The Hockenson truthers who are like, but he's so good. He was a 9th overall pick. He's so big. He's so strong. He's so good. But that hasn't mattered at all.
Yo, when you're drafting in 2022, fire.
Also, no team should
There's some tremendous tight ends out there who didn't do that. Zach Ertz, George Kittle, Travis Kelce.
If you look at Travis Kelce's overall career, he's a tight end 1 in every single year except his first, where he's 57th.
Yeah.
Jason's been preaching this a long, long time.
So, yeah.
Let's go to our one injury away section. I'm going to start off. Zach Zenner is my one injury away. Now, I know what you're thinking, but C.J. Anderson is there. I just don't believe C.J. Anderson has anything left in the tank. He came out, and he was great for the Rams, but everyone was great for the Rams last year. Also, he sucked at the end. He had less than 4 yards of carry at the end behind one of the best running O-lines in the league. I just don't think that C.J. Anderson has what it takes. So I think Zach Zenner is next in line for the Lions.
I don't think C.J. Anderson's going to get the ball much. I think Zach Zenner's been there too long, hasn't done enough. I'm going Ty Johnson or Mark Thompson. Look a little deeper down the depth chart. There's already rumblings that Ty Johnson's going to be potentially replace Theo Riddick. Of course, not in the same capacity. But I'm going to go with those two guys.
Yeah. I'm going CJA. They signed him in the offseason.
They wanted Malcolm Brown first, though.
Too bad. Rams kept him.
If you want to catch us, you can catch us tomorrow because we're coming at you again tomorrow. Every single day, again, remember, for the summer heat wave, you are getting Broto content and team previews for the season. Yep. If you want to contact us outside of here, you can follow us at Broto Fantasy. On Twitter is where we do most of our talking, but we also have an Instagram. Michael, where could they find you?
Mike_Petrop.
Jason
Petrop.
You can find me at Tim Petrop on all social media outlets, but only if you're feeling real frisky. Also, don't forget to check us out, BrotoFantasy.com, for all of your Broto Fantasy needs. We got podcasts, we got articles, we got true throw value, true target value, we got waivers, we got rankings, we got articles. What else is there? Pictures. We have recipes for
videos,
for really good eggplant parmesan.
Videos.
Nah, I'm lying about the eggplant parmesan.
No, you're not. Our Pops makes a banging eggplant parmesan.
Yeah.
We'll throw the recipe up.
But I don't know about you, Shout out to all those
I don't
people
know
who
the
became
recipe.
lactose intolerant after 25. I'm with you. It sucks, but I'm here. You can support my lactose intolerant depression by going to patreon.com/Broto Fantasy and giving us some money.
So you can buy the lactose pills that lets you eat dairy.
Lactose pills. Thank you, everyone who ever invented that. Also, you can catch us where else? Facebook? Yeah. Anywhere. Google Broto Fantasy. See what comes up. Maybe our faces. Maybe it doesn't. Really, we want you to go to Patreon, though, because, we'll see you next time.
True that.